Welcome to Echoes of Eternity with Father E. Our topic for this week is when God calls, do not be afraid to change. When God calls, do not be afraid to change. And this is taken from Luke's Gospel, chapter 13, from verses 1 to 9, and also from the book of Exodus, chapter 3, from verses 1 to 5. So in the Gospel of Luke, Jesus tells the parable of the fig tree, whose owner wants to cut down because it's been 3 years and it has not been able to yield any fruits. And so as the owner wants to cut down this tree, the gardener pleads with the owner and says, please, give me some time to work on it. Give me time to take care of the tree. Let me feed the tree. Let me nourish the tree. And after 1 year, nothing happens, you can go ahead and cut it down. That's the beauty of God's patience with us. Many of us have things about ourselves that we would like to change. And every now and then we feel like we are failing, Maybe you are used to snapping at your kids and you want to improve with your parenting skills. The use of colorful language, calling them names, and then after you say, gee, where did that come from? That's not really from me. Or maybe you want to improve your relationship with your spouse. You've noticed that over the years that you're taking each other for granted. You are short on him or her. You get irritable. He or she irritates you, and you criticize, you judge. There's nothing they do that is good. And the way you treat each other in public and in private is nothing to write home about, and you're sorry about it. And you want to change, but then you find yourself doing the same thing over and over again. Or maybe it's someone that you want to forgive. They hurt you. You really want to forgive, but the flesh in you somehow manages to convince you that you're not going to be able to get past the hurt. Or maybe it's a habitual sin, your favorite sin, the sin you commit all the time, and you go to confession all the time, and then you make resolution that you're going to stop, and then you find yourself doing it again and again and again. And after you feel bad, you feel like you're not making any progress. Maybe you like to gossip, talk about people, criticize people, make nasty comments about people. You get on the phone with your friends and you're constantly discussing people. And then when you get off the phone, you're like, oh my goodness, I have to do something about this. This kind of behavior doesn't align with my Christian values. You see, whatever it is that you want to change about yourself, the parable of the fig tree teaches us that God is not in a hurry to cut you down. That God gives you time in the same way that the gardener gives time to the fig tree. But that doesn't mean that you remain passive. That doesn't mean that you allow apathy to sink in, where you say, I can do better. But why? Because the tree still needs to be cared for. The tree still needs nourishment. The tree still needs attention, Just like in therapy, healing requires hard work. Healing requires time, interest, faith, reflection, prayer, and sometimes seeking help from others. Seeking help from other people, you see. So, in this particular passage, we are reminded that God is not in a hurry to cut us down. And in my work as a mental health professional, I have come to know that one of the strongest obstacles to change is fear. And you know what fear stands for? False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. We fear failure. We fear uncertainty. We fear lack of control. We fear being alone, loneliness. We fear rejection. We fear taking a risk. You see, Exodus chapter 3 and the Gospel of Luke chapter 13, both of them remind us that God is patient with us, that God is present with us. If you recall the story of Moses and the burning bush, God introduces himself as I am who am. See, the name of God is I am. That name is woven into the fabric of our existence. Every single day you use that name, maybe not knowing that you're calling the name of God. You say, I am sad, I am weak, I am satisfied, I am hungry, I am happy. When you introduce yourself, you say, I am Emmanuel, I am Deacon Angel, I am Jeffrey, I am Joyce. See, you call the name of God before you introduce yourself. You know why? Because God's existence comes before our own existence. Our existence is derived from his existence. He is, therefore we are. My own I am comes from his I am. Without his own I am, there wouldn't be my own I am. And so what does that say to you? That God is always with us, always guiding us. And then in the gospel, the gardener pleads for more time and promises to take care of the tree. Isn't that how God deals with us? Constantly inviting us to collaborate, to cooperate with his grace, trusting that we're not alone in the process of growth. Therapy, prayer, reflection, and a strong faith community. These are various ways that God is using, various things that God is doing to nourish us so that you and I may be able to bear fruit. So, what is God calling you to today? Is there an aspect of your life that needs change, that you've been afraid to take the first step? Is there a wound from your past that you must confront with the grace of God? Is there a relationship that needs healing, a habit that needs breaking, and a new path that God wants you to step into? Do you need courage to be able to forgive or be forgiven? What is it that God is calling you to today? And if you feel unworthy like Moses, if you feel unfruitful like the fig tree, remember that God is always patient with you. Remember that He's always present in your life. And so as we continue the journey of Lent, I'm asking that we respond to God's invitation with openness, with trust, and with action. Let us allow God to nourish us so that you and I may be able to bear the fruit that God has created us to bear. And I want to leave you with one affirmation. And this affirmation is taken from the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 4, when God called Moses, Moses. And the affirmation says that I am seen by God. I am known by God. And He calls me by my name. God sees me. He knows me. And He has called me by my name. Even when I feel invisible this week, I know that I am known and that I am loved. Until next time on Echoes of Eternity with Father E, remain blessed.